Hello, I'm Sally Park. I'm almost 90 years old, and I live at the Lutheran home in Topton, Pennsylvania. I'm Justin Park's grandmother, and our family began in this country in 1695 when my mother's ancestors came over from Kaiserslautern, Germany, and they've lived here ever since. Among our ancestors is an Amish bishop. My father's father came over from England and married somebody who is an ancestor of Robert E. Lee. They lived on the Eastern Shore, Maryland. When I was married, my husband's father was commercial attaché in Copenhagen, Denmark. So we went over to visit, and we lived in Denmark and Paris, where my husband was on the GI Bill of Rights. Was that it? GI Bill. GI Bill, where he could study in Paris, France. When that was over, we went to Germany, where he worked for the Department of Defense. And among other jobs, he worked for the OSS, which is a precursor of the CIA. And he interviewed German scientists in the hopes of getting them to emigrate to this country so America could share in their expertise, because they developed rockets and things during the Nazi period. So he was very successful at this, and it was called Project Paperclip, and he's mentioned in a book as being successful. And I met some of these families. They came to our house, and we went to their house, and we convinced them that they should emigrate to the United States. After that, we lived in New Concord, which is memorable because that was the home of John Glenn, who orbited the Earth 3 times in 1962. After that, we lived in Troy, New York.
Okay, tell them about your 60 years as a church organist choir director. Okay, continue.
Justin's grandmother earned a PhD in English at the University of Pennsylvania and taught in various colleges all his life. I earned a PhD in musicology from Bryn Mawr College, and I was an organist choir director in churches for 60 years. So we have been our leadership has been in the area of teaching.